I asked my Patreon supporters to submit anime that they think I should watch. And I decided to pick 5 movies. So yeah, let's just jump into it. The first anime movie I picked was Tamako Love Story. So Tamako Love Story is the sequel to Tamako Market. It's a Kyoto animation show. And the original show is about like this girl named Tamako. Her dad owns a mochi shop, and there's like this market of all these fun, sort of vendors, and she's got her friends. It's a very like light-hearted kind of comedy show. I watched it like 11 years ago or something crazy, like a long time ago. Maybe, God, when did I watch this? Okay, yeah, I watched this like 12 years ago. So it's been a while. The big difference, I think, in tone between the show and the movie is the show has this fat bird who talks, and it's a very goofy show because he's like, there's a whole thing about princes and princesses. It's very silly. And what's interesting is that this movie has none of that. Basically, that whole plot line was resolved. The fat bird appears in the very beginning as a sort of like cameo, but the movie is very like sort of slower paced, like a sweet, melancholy like romance. And honestly, I like it a lot more than the original show. I mean, to be fair, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember the original being like, it's cute, I guess, kind of whatever. It didn't really stick with me. But this is like, even the way it's lit, I mean, it's got that movie budget, of course, but it's like almost like a sunset tone. It's slower paced, kind of like a coming of age, because, you know, the characters are on their final year of high school. They're thinking about the future. Basically, in the show, there's Tamako, and then there's Mochizo. And they are childhood friends who, their parents owned mochi shops. Tamako's mother passed away when she was young. Basically, Mochizo has always had feelings for her, and he is like, I want to finally tell her, because he's decided that he wants to go to school, or to college in Tokyo, to pursue film. So it's kind of like, hey, I'm gonna leave my hometown. So there's that kind of like melancholy feelings about that. And so the movie is really just about these two and, you know, him wanting to tell her this and how does it affect their relationship. Because Tamako is a very ditzy, you know, girl who is very oblivious to his feelings. What will happen when she is, like, finally confessed to? I think, honestly, this movie, it kind of works standalone because I don't remember the original show that well, but I liked this movie. Like, it was very sweet. I thought the romance was very cute. It's more in tone of, like, sound euphonium, which is something I really vibe with. The Tamako Market, from what I remembered, isn't really that tone. It's a lot sillier. And this is like, it's just interesting seeing something that's so silly, had a talking fat bird, and all these antics, and now it's like a slow-paced romance story. Damn, I wasn't sure what to think going into this, because I was like, the show was okay, but as I kept watching the movie, I was like, I'm into this. Like, this is good. Would I recommend Tamako Market? I think Tamako Market, the show, is okay. It's cute, but this movie, I mean, I feel like maybe you'll be lacking some context if you don't watch the show, but not that much. It's pretty easy to figure out the characters' dynamics, I think. So, something I never would have really sought out on my own, to be honest, because when I saw there was a Tamako Market movie, I was like, do I need a movie? Like, what are they going to do in the movie? But it's a good romance story. I don't know. I liked it. It was good. Damn. A pleasant surprise. Alright, it's been a while, but the second anime I'm choosing from my Patreon suggestions is Animal Crossing the movie. I really liked it. However, I feel like if you don't play Animal Crossing, there's kind of nothing here for you. But, as someone who loves Animal Crossing, I really enjoyed it. I think it really captures the vibe quite well. I mean, it uses the music and like, part of it is just my wife and I watched it together, and a villager would pop up like, oh, it's that villager. I don't know, it was just the simple joy of just seeing Animal Crossing characters fully animated. Well, they're animated in the games, but you know what I mean. Animated in a cartoon, and talking, with voice acting. It was also a little fun, the version we watched had Japanese names, and it's like, oh yeah, that's the Japanese name of so on and so forth. All that aside, like, I think it's just, this is kind of how the Animal Crossing movie should be done. It's slice of life, but it's also about, you know, this friendship, you know, making friendships. One of my favorites, Tia, gets a ton of screen time in this, and she's a really sweet character. And yeah, it's funny. The girl in this, the main character, is like making these beautiful friendships, and, you know, just like becoming one with this town. And then the boy character plays like me. He's just a nut who just goes around in weird costumes and does weird shit. I love that both facets of Animal Crossing are captured well in this movie. There's even like, you know, kind of like a little sad part and some melancholy stuff. You know, you're not going to get something super plot heavy. But that's kind of what I wanted out of this. I kind of got exactly what I was hoping for. Even if it is just one big commercial for Animal Crossing, that's in a positive way. It made me want to play Animal Crossing because that's just such a pleasant, cozy vibe. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very charming. There was even a little romance between some villagers. I was like, whoa, romance in Animal Crossing, amazing. I really enjoyed it, but I love Animal Crossing. If you don't like Animal Crossing, you're kind of be like, well, what the hell is this movie? But I love it, so I really enjoyed it. Next up is Ghost Cat Anzu, and this one's very strange. The basic premise of the movie is a girl gets dropped off at a shrine by her dad, who's kind of a deadbeat. He's got a bunch of loans, and he's like, I'll come back for you. And then at this shrine, there is this talking, walking ghost cat. A cat who just never died, and now he just talks and just walks around like a human, and has like a job. It's pretty funny at first. Like, it's very, very slow paced. Just kind of like Natsume's Book of Friends. One thing I do like is that all the characters are just like, yeah, that's Anzu, the talking ghost cat. They don't react at all to like it being strange. He's just been kind of a fixture of the community. And then there's like other like yokai and stuff he hangs out with. A lot of the movie is just him kind of interacting with yokai and doing stuff, and it's pretty offbeat, and I didn't mind it. The girl, meanwhile, she's kind of, you know, her mother died like a few years ago, so she's dealing with the grief of that, and she's like very kind of cynical. You know, she's an interesting character. The last part of the movie is a complete tonal shift that I don't necessarily want to spoil, but it gets very chaotic, very action-packed, and weirdly bleak. Just like weirdly bleak. I don't really care for where it went. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure what the message of the movie is. I guess enjoy life, I guess. I normally, you know, can resonate with, you know, dealing with grief, but the movie just takes such a strange turn that I don't know, I'm still just kind of like trying to process what the fuck just happened. Okay, the animation's great. You know, Anzu has a very cartoony style. I just love the look of the film, so let's talk about stuff I liked about it. I did kind of like the offbeat pace of it, and the, you know, just yokai doing, you know, real life stuff. Like, you know, that's always kind of a fun concept. I wish the main girl and Anzu connected more. The whole movie, she kind of just doesn't like him and doesn't really spend much time with him. And then it's supposed to be like by the end, like, I love you, Anzu. And I'm like, do you though? Do you? I don't think you've really made any sort of connection truly. So that doesn't really work for me. And then again, I don't want to spoil like the last 30 minutes of the movie, but what was that ending? I don't know. Maybe I'm just missing something, but normally with movies like this where it's like dealing with grief and dealing with loss, there's at least like a hopefulness, and this has the opposite. It's like, I don't know, you better enjoy life now because it's horrible after. That's really what it, I'm like, what? Anyway, strange movie. I don't think I liked it overall. I just finished watching it. That last 30 minutes really just kinda, not soured it, but I don't know. I'm very mixed on it. Strange movie. Very strange. All right, the fourth one I watched is Inu-Oh. Inu-Oh is a film by Masaki Yuasa, who is a great director. I thought this movie was incredible. All I knew going into it was that it was a musical, but I didn't know what it was about. I kind of intentionally didn't really look into it. But the movie's about, there is a blind biwa player who basically befriends this other kid who is deformed at birth, like very severely deformed. They start performing music together. They start to sort of become very well known. You know, I'm not an expert on Japanese history, but there's stuff involving like the tales of the Heike and like things like that. I'm not going to go into the entire backstory because I think you should just watch it. But it is a very moving film about just, you know, these two people who just are overcoming adversity. Society has kind of looked down upon them, and it's like, God, it's not only is the animation incredible, I mean, it's Yuasa, so I kind of expected that, but the music, especially the lead character Inu-Oh is voiced by Avu-chan, and they are, you might know them from Queen Bee, and they are incredible. I've always really loved their music, but in this movie, it like seeing their music, their performance combined with Yuasa's animation, I'm just, my breath was taken away. I was like, this is like transcendent. I was like, wow. I really was just so blown away by this movie. So yeah, I highly recommend it, especially if you like Yuasa's work. It's just like a rock musical with just psychedelic Yuasa animation, and I found it very emotional. I was crying. It was great. I loved it. I really loved it. I think it's one of my favorites I've seen this year. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. It's fucking great. Go watch it. And the final anime for this video is Patema Inverted. And this is a movie about, there's this girl, she lives in like this underground area, she falls down a hole, and it turns out she falls out, and it's the surface, or I guess below for her, is inverted gravity. So it's like, you know, when she comes out of the hole, she like tries to grab onto a fence because she's about to fall into the sky. And it's this whole thing of like these two civilizations with opposite gravity, and she meets a boy, and, you know, oh wow, boy meets girl. It is bland. Man, because the concept's pretty good. It's like, oh, okay, you know, it is kind of fun at the beginning. She's like having to, you know, grab onto him and then like go to like the inside of a house, and she sits in the roof, and, you know, it's like a little funny. And then the movie just kind of becomes all about this lore of the world, and, you know, the differences between it. And then I don't know, I think my biggest problem with it is that, you know, if you're gonna do like one of these like, oh, a boy meets a girl, and it's like a kind of like romantic, give them time together, let them spend time together to get to know each other. These two don't know each other. Whims of the plot, through the mandatory needs of the plot, they become like, oh, we would die for each other. Why? Like, it doesn't, they don't, it's just one of the biggest problems with movies, some movies for me, is just, you don't give the characters enough time to develop this friendship or relationship or whatever you want them to develop. And it's just like, I'm not really invested in this. The bad guy's very boring. It's all just kind of whatever. It's crazy because the concept's not bad. It's all kind of bogged down by this kind of boring lore and it's like, I don't know, it's kind of a drag. I didn't really like it. If they just let those two main characters, like, you know, actually form a believable relationship, then I could have been on board. But since they didn't, and it was just about moving the plot along, I was very bored. Alright, that was 5 anime. Inu-Oh was definitely my favorite. I thought that was brilliant. I loved that. But it was 5 very different movies, and that was a pretty interesting experience going through them. So, if you'd like to suggest potential anime for a future video like this, if I do one, my Patreon is patreon.com/prosody. It's $1 a month. Otherwise, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.